welcome back to another video. In the last video we learned a little bit about classes, and a couple of videos before that we learned a bit about functions, lets, vars, and optionals. Today we're going to learn a little bit about private, and file privates. Since we learned a bit about classes, classes are a really complicated topic. I really only went to the basics of classes. It's a better topic to talk about when we get into a more advanced stage. Today we're going to be talking about private and file private. It's going to be a really quick video. So in the last video when we were doing classes, we actually used private a bit, and to rephrase, the difference between a private is mainly the fact that making a variable private means that another class that inherits it, or a class or an instance of a parent cannot grab age on its own, because it's private. Once it's set inside of this class, anyone trying to access it or getting an instance or inheritance of a class parent can't access age. So to give you an example, here when as a child I inherit age. I inherit a parent, but I cannot grab the age from a parent. So I can't do something like get age. So if I didn't have var age here, for example, just to show you, and we try to grab age, you just can't, because there is no instance of it. So if I print age, you don't get it. So you might argue that that's because I don't have a variable of it. Well, right here I can do this. If I let age of parent equal to 30 and I do print age, it'll work here. So just to give you guys an idea, making it private means that you can access this variable. Now for file private, what this means is that as long as these two classes are in the same file, I can access age. So as you can see here, once I made age file private, it means everyone in this file has access to it. So if I create a new file here or a new playground and I inherit parent, I can't grab age again because it's a file private variable. So if this child function was in a completely different file, I would not be able to access age, and this error would never exist. So if I did this right now, and right here I did print age, this would print the age for the parent. Just for the easeability of it, I am going to basically remove. So obviously you can see right here the errors are giving us like, oh hey, age is a let variable instance right here, so you don't need to actually say things like that. So first of all, we can't change it because of that, and secondly, we cannot force unwrap something that actually has a value ahead of time because it's a let. So if we run this now and we show you here, as you can see, all of them get the age of 30. So again, to reiterate, private means that no one can access it. So a variable or a function can actually be private. So we can also do get age to be file to be get age to be private, which means that in here this would not be accessible. See, so right here, get age is inaccessible due to private protection level. So you can do that to functions as well. It does not limit to just being under a variable. So that is what private is. And for file private, no one can access the function or variable if they are in a different class. If they're in a different file from that class. But if two classes are in the same file there will be access to the function or variable. So yeah, that's the basics of file private versus private. Essentially, making something file private means anyone in this file can have that access to that variable, versus if I put this class in a different file, I can't access this variable again. While a private just means that it's restricted in file private, so even if you're in the same file, it is completely ignored. You have to have your own kind of variable to do it. It's private, which means that no one has access to it, only in that class, which we spoke of in the last video. So if we wanted to actually grab age, one way to do it is to have a function that's public that has access to the private value of age, which is right here. We do function get age, which is public, which you can grab at any instance. Right here, as you can see, we can print the age. Also, just so we understand, this is actually also a view load function. It's an imitation view load function, which I explained in the last video. Is basically where if you import UI kit and you have a UI view controller, it runs through the whole life cycle of functions before you actually see the application or the view of the view controller in the application. And if you load is one of these functions, and it gets run throughout the life cycle, and usually this is where you put the code in to kind of do all of the work or the math that you want to do. So again, this is basically a brief overview of private versus file private. I hope you guys understand a little bit more about this, and if you have any questions, obviously let me know. You can email me or comment in this course. I'm not sure if this course actually has a comment feature. It's the first time I'm using Skillshare, but again, feel free to contact me in any way. I'm happy to help or reiterate these lessons. So in the next video, we're going to learn more about classes and functions. We're going to take everything that we've learned and build into an application where you can do a simple calculation, whether it be add, subtract, multiply, and divide. We'll be able to use that and essentially be able to do some basic math and using functions and classes to do such a thing. And as a class project, there is going to be kind of like a bonus project where you can take that project and bring it to a next level, which is basically taking more than two numbers and adding in, multiplying, subtracting, dividing in. Variety you could do with multiple numbers is the bonus project, and that would end the course. See you guys in the next video.